What up, Rockstar Gang, Panther Nation? Appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Welcome to the Rockstar Report. Your host, as always, Clay, or as always, Rockstar. Whichever one you want to call me is cool with me, or you can just call me an asshole. Whichever one you prefer. It's all up to you. Again, appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Make sure you pound the like button like it owes you money as you're coming in or coming out and just coming to say hello. Make sure you get in the comment section. Love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to share the live, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, that's it. Got a good show for you today. Got a lot of things to talk about. Some news, some updates, some positives, as well as some Panthers that may not be here next year. Some PFF grades that I'd like to go over. Some wide receiver targets that maybe we could be looking at this offseason, and some possible trade scenarios for Mr. TMJ, Terrace Marshall Jr. So it's going to be a good show. Make sure as you're coming in, though, love to hear y'all's thoughts. Also, the StreamYard link is in the description of this live stream. It's also in the comment section as well. So if you want to come in and chat about some of these topics yourself, and then do so. You're more than welcome to. But other than that, welcome. And it's Friday. So I know some of you are looking forward to the weekend, and it's, ready for the work week to be over with. And I hope everyone's having a great Friday and has had a great work week this week. And we are on the bye week, so we don't have to worry about having to watch this disappointment of a team. But we're going to try to keep it as positive as possible today, with some good news, a little bit of bad news, but other than that, for the most part, we're gonna have I got a good show for you. So again, I appreciate everyone that's joining and is watching and continues to show me support and everything. And I hope you're liking the NFL, some of the NFL content I've been coming out with in the shorts and some of the memes that I've been coming up with. So I hope you all enjoyed that. I will continue to post that stuff up. All right, without further ado, let's dive right into updates. Bryce Young's getting some criticism. Our quarterback, he was the first pick in the NFL draft, right? Some people are not happy with how he's playing. They think the team should have chosen a different quarterback. I think Young just needs to stay focused, keep improvement. And if there's criticism, even if there's criticism coming from the outside, right? Brian Burns could also be on leave. We're going to dive into more of that, but I don't think so. Like I said, we talked about that yesterday. It was a long episode yesterday, kind of diving into that. There's a possibility that could be, come to fruition, but it also could be a possibility that it doesn't. I don't think it should. Like I said, I have been vocal about that I don't think we should. But the only thing is, at the end of the day, guys, I continue to say, if we're not going to re-sign him, we need to trade him. But I think that we should re-sign him because it's going to be very hard for us to get the caliber of a guy like Brian Burns again. And then you trading him for the draft picks, again, it's a risk that you're taking to think that it's a risk thinking you're going to get another caliber of a guy like that. So like I said, I don't see that happening, but it could be because, Terrace Marshall definitely is going to be on the move. Obviously, he's requested a trade. We've said that's fine. He's not doing so well. He hasn't done well since we drafted him. He's been really just non-existent. So this could be a problem. The first player they might, but he hasn't done very well in 3 years, and he's been with the team. So he gets to move on, and we'll see where he goes. And I'm going to give you some potential trade places where I think we could end up seeing him. Frank Wright's job, I think, might be in danger, guys. It's a tough spot right now. The team's not doing well. We're not happy. Some people think he might lose his job if things don't get better soon. Like I said, at the end of the day, guys, I just want to see progress from this football team, and I just want to see some competitive football. And we'll see where it goes from there. And with this team and him. But other than that, those are just some quick and easy updates for you from the news of the Carolina Panthers. All right, let's move on. So some light in the darkness of things. Okay. We gotta have some kind of positive to talk about here. Okay. There is some light within the darkness of things here. And these three players I feel like have been the light within the darkness of our team, right? Miles Sanders hasn't quite lived up to expectations. Um, and Chuba Hubbard has stepped up when needed. And he's a young player, drafted in the fourth round, right? Showing some real promise. Some fans even think he should play a bigger role in this offense, and I'm an advocate for that. Sanders will still have his place when he's healthy, but right now, for me, Hubbard's performance suggests that he deserves more playing time. And we'll see if this coaching staff takes notice when they face the Houston Texans in week 8, right? So, we'll see where this goes from here. Walt's in the chat. What's up, Walt? No, it's not right. It's Fitz. I kind of see that too. I don't see them getting rid of Frank Wright. I know there's rumors out there that it could be right if things don't get better, but I could definitely see it being Fitz more than Frank Wright. Firing a head coach, it's for his first year. It doesn't really happen very often, but if we go 0-17, I could definitely see it happen too. I could see Fitz and him going. So we'll see what happens in that, Walt. But another pleasant, obviously, Adam Thielen, right? I didn't think Adam Thielen at the age of 33 was going to be able to produce like the way he has. And he wasn't expected to be our top receiver for this team. But due to the underperformance of other players, Thielen has become that go-to guy, right? He's putting up Pro Bowl level numbers right now. His performance has been the bright spot of this offense. While it reflects poorly on other receivers like Terrace Marshall and others, it's still great to see that Thielen is shining in this role. Another thing is Bryce Young's growth. Some of you agree with this, some of you may not. Despite the Panthers winless record, his development as a young quarterback is crucial at this point now. Thomas Brown taking over finally taking over the play calling, which I've been asking for since the beginning of the season. I think that we're going to see some new offensive schemes, less predictability, pre-snap motions. With the run game, we're going to see some more of some creative outside runs, stuff like that. But our offensive line and limited receiving options haven't really helped this kid. I think he's shown poise and progress each and every week. His confidence in throwing the ball, I think, is improving. I think he definitely needs to improve, though, after watching that game film against Miami. There's a couple deep shots that he's missed. Especially there was like 2 or 3 balls to DJ Chark that he overthrew. And I think he definitely needs to work on that. But he relies heavily on Adam Thielen. That's why Adam Thielen's getting the numbers, but he seems to be the only one that's creating separation. Like I said, Thomas Brown, I think, is going to have some creative and new ideas added to this offense. And I look forward to seeing what he brings to the table. So I think there's hope for Young's growth. I know he's got a lot of pressure being the top overall pick and being here and us wanting to win now. But his progress has been impressive under the circumstances that he is in. So I will say that. All right. Players that will not be here in 2024. I truly believe this. I truly believe these players will not be here in 2024. I just don't see it happening. I think Deshaun Williams, he'll be gone. I was expecting a little bit more out of him in free agency because he did shine back at the Broncos under Evero. However, he hasn't lived up to the expectations through the first 6 games. The defensive line, aside from Derek Brown, has struggled against the run. Williams needs to show more consistency to secure his future with this team, right? DJ Chark, I thought it was going to be a significant acquisition at the wide receiver position, meant to provide a deep threat. Now, granted, there has been times where he has been open down the field. And like I said, Bryce needs to work on his deep ball accuracy to get him the ball when he's open the way he was a couple times in that Miami game. So, however, He hasn't consistently met expectations, I will say, and it has had some difficult time creating separation on the field. There is hope for improvement with change in the offensive coordinator again, but the Panthers might want to, still look to upgrade their wide receiver group this offseason, which we are going to dive into a little bit more. Some guys I think that we could bring in to, help us out. Another thing, Jeremy Chin had a fantastic rookie season, but his role has just reduced in this new defensive scheme under Evero. He's no longer a starter. He's been used in the specialist packages. Injuries on the defense make his future uncertain, while his athletic abilities are definitely clear. We've seen it, right? But he might need to explore other opportunities for his career to thrive. And unfortunately, I just don't think it's fitting in here. And if they're not going to move away from the 3-4 defense, especially, then I think Jeremy Chin will be gone. And like I said, I think there is a conspiracy theory to the fact that he is injured. I don't truly believe that he's truly injured. I think that they are actually sitting him out and just saying he is injured to trade him away, to get some draft capital. Right. Justin Houston, outside linebacker, was brought in to kind of bolster up this pass rush. I kind of felt like they brought him in more to be that veteran guy to come in and help younger players. But, he hasn't lived up to expectations. He's only got a half a sack and nearly half of his defensive snaps, which is a disappointment. Father time, I think, is just catching up with this man. Houston's production might not match his salary either, and it's likely he won't continue, in my opinion, with the Panthers after this season. Even with some money spread over the next few years, this move, part of the win now strategy, seems to have missed the mark, right? And that's on who else? Scott Fitterer, right? Scott Fitterer. So, it is what it is. 0-17. I'm firing everyone calling Wilkes. I feel you. I felt Wilkes needed to be here. But like I said, Walt, you got to think about this. If Thomas Brown is able to create this creative offense that I'm thinking he's going to be able to create and be able to, and we see some progression within this offense, it wouldn't be a surprise to me that he gets a head coaching job, either whether it's here or somewhere else. He needs to be in on every snap. Chin's a baller. I wish Chin was still at the safety position. I wish that Chin was still at the safety position. I think that's where his best fit is, or put him at middle linebacker, because we definitely need a playmaker there. So, but unfortunately with this 3-4 defense, it just doesn't fit his style of play. If it was a 4-3 defense, 4-3 defense, which I think that we need to be playing anyways, because we don't have a true nose tackle, and Shai Tuttle's not getting it done. I think that that's an issue too. So, all right. So I want to dive into some PFF grades real quick. All right. We're going to go through this team's PFF grades real quick. And I want to show y'all a couple things between these high and lowest ranking grades and stuff like that. I want to go through this real quick. All right. So we'll start with we'll start with some people in here. What up? What up, Q? What up, Q? All right. So I want to go through these PFF grades real quick with you guys. All right. So here's the thing. All right. Again, guys, if anybody wants to join in on the live stream, here's the StreamYard link. All right. Here's the StreamYard link. Feel free to come in at any time. All right. You're more than welcome to hop on the show with me and, join along today. So I'm going to try to make this something for everybody to do consistently throughout the week, every time I go live. So if you want to come in and join, you're more than welcome to. So I'd love to hear y'all's thoughts. So you don't have to always comment in the comment section, but I do love to hear y'all's thoughts in the comment section as well. So if you don't want to come on the live stream, feel free to get in the comment section. Make sure you pound the like button as you're coming in and staying. And if you're coming and going, Perfect. But still, make sure you pound that like button. All right. It goes a long way. The more you like, the more we grow. And that helps me out tremendously. So, anyway, so there's the StreamYard link. So feel free to join. All right. So here's the thing. So our top 5 offensive players, okay, our top 5 offensive players with the highest PFF grades. You got Adam Thielen at an 84.3, okay? All right, you've got Chuba Hubbard at a 71.9, all right? All right, then, okay, you look at this. You got let me see. Okay, this is in this situation. Can I do it from a roster standpoint? Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. This is what I really wanted to do. Okay. So let's go. Okay, here we go. Perfect. So then we got, so your top 5. All right, your top 5. These are your top 5 players right here besides Andy Dalton. We're not even including Andy Dalton in this because we're just talking about from a top 5 standpoint. So if we're looking at the highest top 5 offensive players, we're looking at Adam Thielen right here. Okay. We're not going to include Andy Dalton because he's not considered a starter. So we're kind of just going based off of this as a starter standpoint. Cyburn, what's up, man? Good afternoon. All right. Then you got Chuba Hubbard at 71.9. Okay. Then you have Laviska Shenault at a 67.9. You got Taylor Moton at a 63.8. Okay. And we got Ike Ekwonu at a 59.8. All right. Now I get it. We got other guys in here with some higher grades like Blackshear, Dalton, but we're talking about this from a starter standpoint. Okay. So again, from this standpoint, it's here. So if we look at the lineup style, it's different, right? Because then they're showing it from Mingo here. All right. Now, if we do this from a 2 tight end personnel, you got Trimble here. But again, still, Thielen is your number 1, 2, 3. And then we're looking for Laviska. Laviska's not in here for some reason, but that's okay. So Laviska is at again, from an offensive standpoint, Laviska's got a 67.9. Moton has a 63.8. And then Ike's got the 59.8. Now, if you're looking at this too, PFF has them ranked among wide receivers. So out of 116 wide receivers, Adam Thielen is 12th in the NFL. Okay. Taylor Moton, he's 37th out of 73 right tackles in the NFL. Okay. Ekwonu, he's 47th out of 73 left tackles in the NFL. And then you got Hubbard, who's 16th out of 48 halfbacks in the NFL. All right. Now, if I look at Laviska, I'm not really sure where he's at. So if we go to Laviska, okay, and we go over to, we click on him, he's a 67.9. Receiving grade, he's a 67.5. And his running grade, he's a 64.8. Now, overall, let's see where they have him. Let's see his ranking. Let's see if they have a ranking for him. I kind of want to see. Doesn't look like, from the standpoint, I can't see his rank. I'm wondering if I can find it. There's got to be a ranking somewhere. Yep, all below average, Q. Yep, all below average. The only ones that are not, right? I mean, from this offensive standpoint, the only ones that are not below average, okay, would probably basically these guys right here are all the ones that are not below average. Once it gets down to that yellowish right there, that's when it starts getting below average. This probably right here is around average. little bit above, and then the rest above average and above average, right? So when we look at this roster, man, I mean, we can sit here and say, well, Bryce isn't, the Bryce is the problem. But when you've got everyone but on this offensive line, besides Moton, at a below average rate, that's an issue. Same thing with your wide receivers, all below average besides one person, and that's Adam Thielen. All right, and Hubbard. So we've got more. This is the thing. Yes, Bryce has some things that he needs to learn. He needs to get better at, right? We've talked about that before, right? I've been on here vocal saying that this kid needs to work on his deep ball accuracy. I've also said he holds on to the ball way too long, right? He stands in the pocket way too long, right? And there's also times where he just needs to get the ball out to the check down, which we saw multiple times against Miami when we broke the game field down. All right. Cue the link. Link is right up here, brother. Or it's in the description. If that's what you're looking for, my friend. There he is. What up, Q?
What's up, brother? What's up? How you living?
I'm living. It's Friday, man. It is Friday.
Man, I love what you're doing. I love the numbers over here. That way everybody can showcase. It's being showcased to them where they can see our team is below average. But
Yep.
Clay, I'm gonna be real with you. Even
Yep.
though the team is below average, we got to get a lot more production as well as coaching in this building to help this team, strengthen up a lot.
Right.
And it's going to start by, from the quarterback position, man. We're going to have to get a lot more production from there for some of those PFF grades to go up on their offensive line.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. No, I totally agree with you, Q, because we've talked about this multiple times. I mean, I've come on your show and been vocal about it. The thing is, at the end of the day, we have to build within the trenches. I mean, we can't expect this kid to be, Josh Allen or, Patrick Mahomes, anything like that. A perfect example, if anybody watched that Thursday night game last night, and look at Derek Carr, man. I mean, he's just getting blown out back there, and he can't even make any, and everybody's blaming it on him that he can't make the throws or whatever, but he has no time to throw the ball, right? So,
Right.
again, Q, at the end of the day, you're not wrong, but is there some things that Bryce needs to work on? We do need to be vocal about that too. Like we've both been saying, like, I know you don't believe in him. I know you don't, because you've been vocal about that. But you have been vocal saying he can play in the NFL. We've seen it, right? He can make some plays, but
Uh,
where is he making the plays most of the time? Where's the ball going? Right? It's going to Thielen, the only person that's getting open. Now, when I broke down the game film against Miami, right? Like I said, miss 2 or 3 deep balls to Chark. All right, overthrew number one. Number two, there's a couple times where he's standing in the pocket and he's waiting and he's waiting and he's waiting, but Blackshear or Hubbard's right there for the check down, or even Hurst. I've even noticed Hurst was right there running a curl route. He's wide open 5 yards, off the linebacker, where he could just dump it right there. But sometimes it seems like he keeps his eyes down the field, but yet he's just not getting the ball to these guys.
but that's because he doesn't trust what he sees.
Right.
And that comes with a confidence boost. He has to, one, get his confidence up to be able to trust what he sees. And this comes from coaching. If he was coached up the right way from the time that he stepped foot in Carolina with OTAs and rookie camps and all these camps that he's been through, and saying, okay, when they do this in certain situations, you see that right there, when to get that ball out. All that is what you see Brock Purdy and these other guys flourish at. It's timing and getting the ball out and not holding the ball in your hand too long, because the longer you hold that ball in your hand, the worse of those grades are coming, because you're going to get a lot of holding calls. You're going to get a lot of different calls from this offensive line. That's going to make them look worse than they are.
Right. And
Do,
another thing is then he holds on to the ball, and guess what happens? The pocket closes and he takes the sack.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't. I look. I'm gonna be real with you, Clay. Those numbers of PFF are accurate, but I believe that he helped them get as bad as they are.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people is not going to understand where I'm going with that when I say that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, if you can attribute to, like you said, holding on to the ball too long or not knowing when to get rid of the football, just little simple rookie mistakes that he's learning right now. He's going through the learning curve. But a lot of us were promised that he knew this starting off.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They called him a machine. He was a excellent processor. He was smart. He was one of the best prospects we ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they were selling us on. He knew
Mm-hmm.
one thing that he could do was critically think. That's what they
Mm-hmm.
said with the S2 scores.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all.
Yeah, no, I got you. I mean, I don't disagree with you by any means. So I think at the end of the day, though, it comes down to him, progressing in those certain areas, but then it also comes down to getting some help too. It's kind of a 1-2 punch. You need both. Um, you need him to progress and start making the right decisions and making the quick decisions. I think also with the play calling too has been an issue involved in that too, right? I believe that. I think Thomas Brown now coming in with this idea of this high tempo Rams style offense, like the Sean McVay pre snap motions, disguising what we're running. Right, we're not going to be as predictable with the run game. You're going to see a lot of two back sets as well as probably some creative outside running, which I think we need because both we don't have power backs. So these inside zone runs that we continue to see every single time is just getting old. And it's getting predictable, and we're getting predictable in the pass game with the certain play calling that we've seen because it's a lot of saying quick slants, cross routes, a lot of hitch routes, flats, screens, but now I think that we're going to see a lot more of that. But I would also, like I've been vocal about, I think it would be smart for them to rerunning some more play action bootlegs to get Young out the pocket to maybe see the field a little bit more, or not a little bit more, but a little bit better. It opens up the offense. So I've been vocal about that, Q.
Yeah, yeah.
I
I
think
believe all those could help, but I
how
mean, you
how much
just
is it
laid.
going to really help, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Because you
Yeah.
just laid it out. You just basically said we need a power back. We need a lot of the things to go right. We don't have the
Mhm.
personnel on the field to make a lot of that happen. So that means
No,
a lot of the stuff that people are looking for, they're going to have to take care of that in the off season. You're going to have to
absolutely.
look to get a power feature back in. You're going to have to look to start getting some of these receivers that could come out there and beat and be motioned in and be successful. You're going to have to start seeing a lot of that, man. We
Yep.
don't have that kind of stuff on the team right now as it is. So
Mhm.
it's gonna be a long season, brothers. I hope y'all got y'all stuff together because it's only going to get worse. The
Before it
learning
gets
curve
better.
is in full of yeah. You can see the learning curve is in full effect. So hopefully, I'm gonna tell you something, Clay, and I'm gonna bounce out here because I got a lot of noise back here at work.
No, you're
But
good.
Thomas Brown, Frank Wright better hope for his sake that Thomas Brown don't come out here and call a Herculean game because if so, his ass is out the door. I
Yep.
hope you know that.
Oh, I know. Hey, listen, I'm all for it. I mean, at this point, I'd rather see Thomas Brown be the head coach at this point. I'd
Well,
rather see Thomas Brown at this point.
I got some stuff to unveil today, 3 o'clock on Black Cat, 3:30. I'm sorry on Black Cat, and
Yeah.
it's about the head coaching situation and some stuff, some whispers that's been coming out because for some reason there's always somebody in our organization leaking some information. So
Yeah.
there's some new information that came out. I can't wait to break it.
Yeah, well, I'll definitely be over there as well. Guys, Rockstar Gang, make sure you go over to the Black Hat Panther podcast, show Q and them some support. I'll be over there at 3:30 with them to help them break this down a little bit more as well. We'll definitely get into it. There'll be some fun arguments. There'll be a lot of name calling, and there will be also a lot of yelling and screaming. So it'll be a lot of fun. So make sure you go, guys. Make sure you go over, support the Black Hat Panther podcast, show them support, And we'll be over there. I'll be over there at 3:30 right after I'm done with this live stream.
All right, Doc. I'll see you later.
All right, Q. Thanks for joining.
Yes, sir.
Peace. That was Q from the Black Cat Panther podcast. Again, shout out to him. Thank you for joining the live stream, Q. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Let's give him a nice round of applause there. Nice. Shout out to Q there. Shout out to Q, the Black Cat Panther podcast. All right. Shout out to Q. So round of applause. Oh, that's my laughing board. I got to get better at my soundboards here, guys. All right, so let's break down the top 5 highest defensive players, okay? So let's break down the top 5 of the defensive players. So we're going to do it from a defensive standpoint. All right, and we're going to go over to, is this all offense? Okay, here we go. Here's the defense. There we go. Perfect. All right, so our top 5 defensive players, if we're looking at this, is Xavier Woods, okay? Was doing well until his injury, and his absence has hit the secondary, I think, pretty hard. You got Derek Brown at a 72.6. You got a Brian Burns at a 71.6. They continue to show flashes of brilliance. You got Luba at 67.5, who is just a monster. Sideline to sideline player. Love seeing what he's been doing this year, 67.5. And you got Troy Hill at 64.8. I saw an interesting thing about Troy Hill, guys. I know he's a little bit older. Okay. I know he's a little bit older. But his QBR rating for his coverage is like a 55.4 or something like that. So he is very good in coverage. So he is excelled expectations for me, because I didn't even think I didn't really know what he was going to be. I figured he was just going to be a rotational piece, nothing to, kind of be, excited about, but he definitely has shown done well being here. So if we go look now at these PFF grades, guys, there's 15 people watching, only 10 likes. Please make sure you pound the like button. I would greatly appreciate it. So now if we look at the lowest, okay, the lowest bottom 5 players on the offense, okay, and these are starters, okay, these are starters, okay. Miles Sanders, okay, if you look right here, starters wise, he's a 55.5, okay. Miles Sanders has just been a letdown and lacking burst and confidence, and then that Chuba Hubbard's been bringing. Number 2, you've got Hayden Hurst's performance, surprisingly, has been a lackluster. He's a 47.6, which is right up here. All right. Then you've got Bryce, who's at a 51.0, which we just kind of discussed on that a little bit more when Q stepped in, right? Another thing is Throckmorton, who's a 54.2, right there. Not very good, right? And you got Chandler Zavala, man. Look at this. 27.7. 27.7. And that puts him at the last ranked right guard in the NFL. So that is just proving that, like I said, I think Bryce's grade is low due to the fact of lack of support, personnel, play calling, right? And he's been improving week by week. Now, Chandler Zavala had a tough start, and with the injuries forcing him into action early, but still, it's, these grades don't lie. All right. The numbers don't lie when it comes to these PFF grades. All right. Now, if we go to the bottom 5 defense players, I mean, Mathis Farley last week was absolutely atrocious. But if we go to the bottom 5, let's look at the start from the starter standpoint. Okay. Shy Tuttle, 58.2. Okay. Jeremy Chen, a 57.2. Okay. Dante Jackson, who's the one that I am more upset with because of how much we're paying him, a 50.8. Okay. This is atrocious. Okay. So looking at each and one of these players. So here, Shy Tuttle, 58.2, run defense, 55.4, rushing grade, 60.8, and a coverage grade, obviously a 60. I don't know why they have a coverage grade, but that's interesting. But overall, 58.2. I mean, that's really, really bad, right? Jeremy Chin, I think Jeremy Chin's reason why his grade is so low is obviously because he's not on the field enough, right? He's not getting enough play time, right? They're not rotating him. And they're not, I don't think they're, obviously the thing is that they're not using him correctly, right? But then if you go look at like another guy, Kamu Gruger Hill, who I thought he had a great offseason and I was expecting him to really be a really good rotational piece. He just really hasn't lived up to the hype like I was expecting him to. I mean, he's just faced some struggles. Jonte Jackson, him, CJ Henderson, they've all faced struggles. But I mean, you look at this at 48.2, 37.3, pass rush 67.7, coverage grade 59.9. He's great he's doing very well in the pass rush, but again, run defense 37.3, right? So again, like these guys are not doing us any favors. Same thing here. I mean, if we look at Justin Houston's grade, if it pulls up, okay, it's taking way too long. That's taking way too long. Anyways, so I mean, and then another one I want to point out, last but not least, where's he at? CJ Henderson. Defense grade overall, they're giving him a 44.1. And cornerback position, that ranks him at 102 out of 111 cornerbacks. Okay. His pass rush grade's a 79.2, but his coverage grade's a 40.9. Okay. Then his run defense is a 50.9. So, these numbers don't lie. It's like I said, it's a rough start. It's a rough start. And that's the reason why these guys won't be here next year. I just don't see them being here next year. All right, some off-season targets, guys. I got these off-season targets. These are some wide receivers I think they should look at for next season. Marquise Brown might be available to trade before the deadline in October, right? October 31st. If he becomes free, the Panthers could use his speed, playmaking abilities. I think Brown would be the fastest. He would definitely be the fastest receiver on the team, and he would add a big play threat that they currently lack. Marquise Brown is also, fun fact, if you don't know, is a big playmaker over the middle of the field, right? He's a big playmaker over the field, and guess who likes to throw the ball over the middle a lot? Bryce Young. So it makes sense for Marquise Brown. I think Marquise Brown would be a great asset to this team, and he would definitely bring the wide receiver support that this team really is need and lacking. Tyler Boyd, he may not be a wide receiver one, okay, but he's a dependable receiver who catches about 70% of his passes thrown to him. He could be a valuable complementary piece for the Panthers, working well alongside their whoever our main wide receiver may be. So it could be a guy that we could bring. Tyler Boyd could be a guy we bring in, and maybe, if we get Marquise Brown, we bring in a guy like Tyler Boyd, right? T. Higgins, Boyd's teammate, might not be the fastest, right? But he has the size to be a deep threat. He's 6'4", 220 pounds. Could bring something new to this Panthers offense. Now, there's talk about the Bengals might not extend his contract, making him a possible target for the Panthers. And then last but not least, Michael Pittman Jr. is having a solid season. He's ranking in the top 10 for receptions, top 16 in receiving yards. The Colts will try to keep him, but a player of his caliber might explore the market. He also has a connection to this Panthers coaching staff, right? Which could make him an appealing choice for our team, right? So these are some guys I would say look out for. It's pretty exciting to think about that we could get some of these guys, right? Walt, it's the Black Cat Panther podcast. Black Cat Panther podcast at 3:30, guys. 3:30. Luva on that list, hopefully. For the top I'm guessing for the top defense. He's definitely one of the top defensive players on PFF from that standpoint. Chin being that low explains why he's not getting. Yeah, I know. Sadly, the defense does miss Shaq Thompson. Yeah, we miss a vocal playmaker in our defense. I mean, that's that's what we're doing. We miss a vocal playmaker on this defense. Justin Houston has no stats to pull up. He is washed, man. I don't know why they thought bringing a 34-year-old man, even though he had a decent year last year. If you look at his PFF grade was actually not that bad last year. It was above average, but Father Time, I think, is just getting the best of him. Or again, like I said, guys, maybe this 3-4 defense doesn't really fit some of these players' playing styles. That could be another reason. I think I'm an advocate to move it back to the 4-3. We just don't have a true nose tackle, and when you don't have that in that kind of system, it doesn't really bone well with everybody else, right? 16 people watching, only 10 likes. Come on, let's make sure we pound that like button, guys. Greatly appreciate it. Yeah, exactly. Shy Tuttle was another waste of a free agency. Derek Brown has more sacks than Justin Houston. Get Barn or DJ in there. Yeah, I think we've started seeing more of just DJ Johnson getting some burn. And I mean, I won't be surprised if they do. I'm surprised Barno how fast he is. I'm just surprised he's not getting any more burn. And I don't know if it's just that he just doesn't have the power to go along with the speed, but it's some of these guys, man, they're just developmental talent, DJ Johnson, Barno, pass rush specialist, my ass. I feel you, Steve-O. I feel you. Guys, 16 people watching, only 10 likes. Make sure you pound that like button. I greatly appreciate it. All right. Last but not least, potential trade destinations for Terrace Marshall. Now, Terrace Marshall has been given the green light, guys, to explore trade options. Okay. All right. To look for a more significant role. And here are some few teams I think that he could go to. Here's the reason why I chose the Ravens. I know they're known for the run first approach, but they've struggled in the wide receiver options. I think Marshall may not instantly solve their issues, but he could be an invaluable addition without costing too much, and his presence could provide some diversity to this Ravens offense. The Kansas City Chiefs. Now, I know they got McCold Hardman, but the Chiefs might still be on the lookout for some, trying to get some talent. All right. Now, Terrace Marshall could be the tall, fast receiver they've been searching for. I know with questions surrounding the development of Justin Ross, the decline of MVS, and then Marshall could, offer some potential and comes with a rookie, rookie contract. So again, with these guys, gonna have to drop for a work meeting. Have fun, guys. Appreciate it, Cyber, and appreciate you joining. Then the TC Titans, man. These playoff prospects, the Titans playoff prospects aren't guaranteed. If they find themselves out of contention, they might want to elevate their young talent, including quarterbacks Will Levis, Malik Willis, their current receiver options, apart from Westbrook, Hopkins. Terrace Marshall's skills could make a significant impact on their offense. Again, Terrace Marshall just might not fit here, right? He's got high upside, right? And low risk because of his rookie contract. So a team, whoever decides to get him, isn't going to have to fork out a lot of money, right? They're not going to have to pay him a lot. But the Tennessee Titans also are in the trade market. I've heard that Tennessee might be trying to trade who's their quarterback? Ryan Tannehill to Atlanta Falcons, because I heard that, because we all know Arthur Smith worked with Tannehill in Tennessee, and the best year that the years that Arthur was here was the best years that Tannehill ever played. You know, him going to Kansas City with Pat Mahomes. I mean, that, there's no telling what he could do there, right? Especially Pat Mahomes throwing the ball. Their offensive scheme could fit Terrace Marshall. And then the Baltimore Ravens, like I was saying, they might not solve all their issues there. They've got Bateman, they got Flowers, maybe adding Marshall to the mix because OBJ's not really producing. Maybe bringing in a high upside young wide receiver maybe could help Lamar Jackson out in the pass game. So these are three teams that I'm thinking about. So those are just some trade possibilities in my mind for this kid. Feel free to move on, my friend. Move on. So again, guys, I appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Make sure you pound that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'm live Monday through Friday, every single day, for most of the time for an hour or more sometimes. But today is a short one because I am going to hop over to the Black Cat Panther podcast here in about, I think he said 3:30, but it might be at 3 o'clock. So maybe in the next 2 minutes. So make sure you go over there, show them support. I'm going to hop on over there, collaborate with those guys. I really appreciate everyone that continues to come in here and show me support and pounding that like button and subscribing to the channel. Those are the two best things that you can do, and it helps me out and goes a long way. You don't understand. If you want to go further, again, share the lives, become a member, join the Discord. The link tree's down below. Feel free to follow me on all of my social media up above me right here. And also check out the BetUSA link in that link tree. Definitely helps me out as well. You can also check it out. Tell me a freaking like button. Like it owes you money. Come on now. What are we doing? Hey, it's being creative, man. All right. I'm just trying to, get your beaters right. You know what I'm saying? I'm just messing. James, I'm just, hey, it's not too much to ask for. I'm not asking for your money, James. I'm not asking for your money. I'm just asking for you to pound the like button. So keep pounding that like button. How about that, James? Keep pounding that like button. All right. No pun intended. All right, James. Oh man. But again, I appreciate everyone that shows me support. And as always, comes in here and gets in the comment section, pounds the like button, subscribes. So I really appreciate that. It goes a long way. So anyways, I'm going to hop on over to the Black Cat Panther podcast here. Make sure y'all go over there. Come check it out. Come join the live stream over there, guys. And I'll see you over there. Peace. Keep pounding, guys.